Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Eikev, the second parsha after Tisha B'Av of the Shabbos the Nechmusa, the Shabbosim of consolation, of Nechama after the destruction, and the Nechama towards the Geulah, not just leaving of dealing with the Gullus, but also telling us that the true Nechama is that from here we're going to get to Geulah. Geulah is just about to happen. That's the true Nechama. The Nechama to say that's not so bad, that there was a destruction, that's not a Nechama, because it still just says deal with the fact. Or it's not as bad as you think. We're trying to manipulate the narrative. No, true Nechama is only when it comes to Geulah. And therefore the Rebbe teaches us when it comes to Parshas Eikev, and this is the second parsha of Nechama, it's not just the Haftorah, it's in the parsha itself. We have to find true Nechama in the parsha itself. And we have an amazing thing that we learned this week in a few of the teachings that we had in the Alter Rebbe's Zekuta Torah and the Rebbe's Maimer and in the parsha class. But there's one amazing nekuda. Today's reading, it starts off and it says that when we're talking, again, this week, the parsha of Eikev is so much about Eretz Yisrael, which is really what Geulah is about. Because when Mashiach comes, we're going to go to Eretz Yisrael the way it should be. In the Eretz HaToivah V'Archava, the land that it says that God's watching from beginning of the year to end of the year. The whole parsha talks about the description of the beautiful and the love that we have to have for Eretz Yisrael. And one of the things it says about Eretz Yisrael in the beginning of this week's parsha, in this week's portion, meaning Shishi, it says, Like Eretz Mitzrayim. The Eretz Yisrael is not like Eretz Mitzrayim. So the Rebbe asks, what do you mean it's not like Eretz Mitzrayim? Why? Because Eretz Mitzrayim, it says you're going to have to plant, you're going to have to go take the water, like Rashi says, from the Nile and schlep it. And here in Eretz Yisrael, it's L'mtar Shemaim Tish Temoyim, that it's a mountain of valleys and it's a mountain of mountains and valleys, and the rain, Hashem blesses it. You don't have to go schlep the water. But why does the Torah have to tell us it's not like Mitzrayim? We know it's not like Mitzrayim. And here the Rebbe teaches us an amazing thing. The Zohar says that when the daughters of Yisroi met Moshe at the well, they come back and they say to their grandfather and their father Yisroi, they say Chayvev, they say that Ish Mitzri, we saw an Egyptian man. So the Rebbe says, why does the Torah have to say Ish Mitzri? Obviously, they didn't know him as anything else. He was a Mitzri. Why does the Torah tell us that? The Torah's emes means that the Torah is acknowledging the statement that Moshe is an Ish Mitzri. So the Zohar says, because here he was born, in Egypt he was born, in Egypt he was raised, in Egypt he reached elevations. And the Rebbe explains, what does it mean that in Egypt all these things? That we know that there's two types of fuels that fuel a person's drive in life. There's the fuel of negativity, the Mitzrayim, the Meitzar. Like the Alter Rebbe says, these are the travels a person travels leaving Egypt plurally. Because every time you're going towards Eretz Yisrael, you're leaving another level of limitation, of Meitzar, of limitation, and it's that fuels you to continue moving and continue changing and continue to elevate. Moshe, this is where he was born, and this is where he was raised, and this is where he reached all the highest levels because he was motivated by the Mitzrayim. And that's an important force that fuels a person's growth, remembering your humble beginnings, remembering where you come from. It's the Meitzar, you're trying to get out of the Mitzrayim, but you're looking over your shoulder. And that's still an attitude of Gullus. The Rebbe says that the Pasuk says that Eretz Yisrael is like Eretz Mitzrayim. It reaches a point in a person's life we have to say, no more Gullus, die Gullus. We don't need to be motivated by Mitzrayim. We don't need to be motivated by the Meitzar, by the limitations, by the push of negativity, by the memories of our past. We're able to find growth in a positive form of fuel. Eretz Yisrael is L'mtar Shemaim Tish Temoyim. The water comes down from heaven and we can become expressive, whether it's an expressive like we learned in the Maimer of mountains, of Avos Hashem, an expressive of Yiras Hashem, valleys, making space for God. All these are forms of Avodah, but there comes a time, especially now when comes Shabbos Eikev, and we're after the Churban Beis HaMikdash. And it's not the Nechama to say that we could grow in Mitzrayim. Like the Yosef HaTzadik had two sons, Ephraim and Menashe. Hifrani be'eretz anya. Yes, there's an idea of growing in the land of your enemy, in the land of poverty. But there has to be also the next step, which is going into Eretz Yisrael like Eretz Mitzrayim. It's not that you're motivated by the negative, you're motivated by the positive, by the ability to be a mountain, like it says Avram Avinu was a true mountain because through his finding the true chesed and the love in the valley, in the way of Yira, in the way of Bittul, Anoichi Afer Efer, that he was humbled himself in his kindness. That made him a true mountain. He was able to become the true elevated person that a person can achieve only through Geulah. And I want to wish everyone that we should take the mindset of Geulah. The Rebbe says it's time. It's time to go away from the mindset of Geulah and away from the mindset of Mitzrayim. Like Eretz Mitzrayim, we're no longer in Egypt. It's time to go into Eretz Yisrael with the Geulah Mitzvah Shlema B'Karv Mamash Shabbos.